How to be a bulletproof athlete. What does that even mean, and how do you achieve it? Hopefully in less than 15 minutes, I'm going to shoot for 10. I'm going to give you 5 areas in which you as a high school athlete can give yourself the best chance of being a bulletproof athlete. Being a bulletproof athlete, it's a two-piece. In either order, number 1 is you're decreasing the chances of a injury that could have been prevented. Some injuries cannot be prevented. I'm not saying 100% of guarantee of anything. However, there are many injuries and many issues that will come up throughout the course of your career or within a given season that could have been prevented had you done things differently. That's number 1. And number 2 is we want to increase, as always, I want to increase the chances that you reach the optimal, maximized potential of whatever you are capable of. I never promise what you're going to be because I don't control that, and neither do you. But what we can control is you getting as close to that as possible. That's always the goal, okay? Decrease injury, increase whatever your chances are of becoming the greatest athlete that you are capable of becoming, okay? So 5 areas, let's get right into it. Hope you got your pen, notebook, write these down. Number 1, lifting heavy in season. Training with the intensity in season as you did off season. Now, if you play certain sports like, let's just say, golf, you probably don't lift truly heavy at any point. So that could be a little bit different. However, you could still keep the same off-season intensity. Okay, so the biggest thing when I say is lift heavy, I mean keep, because sports are different, keep the intensity of the off-season from a strength and conditioning standpoint consistent year-round. Now, you will change the volume of a workout. You'll do less sets. You won't maybe even do as much frequency, but you will have a minimal standard that keeps the intensity so that you don't take any back steps. I'm going to give you a somewhat anecdotal example of an athlete in Ndamukong Suh. He had, I think it was either 13 or 14 seasons in the NFL. Doesn't matter. Either way, he never missed a single game because of injury in his entire career. He played the defensive line. He was impact every single play. Never missed a single game because of injury. And his number one reason that he says, and is honestly true, that he says is that the reason why he never missed a game is because he still lifted heavy even during season. So think about how much sense does it make to train in the off season to get stronger, to become bigger, better, faster, stronger, to only watch yourself slowly diminish that throughout the course of a season. Because here's the thing, you're going to have natural attrition to your body within a given season regardless of what you do. Just the simple wear and tear of the season, that's going to come about anyway. So if that's going to come about anyway, imagine what doing less and less from the strength and conditioning is going to do compounded with that. So do you think getting weaker, slowly getting weaker, is good if you're slowly adding wear and tear on your body at the same time? Does that sound like a recipe for you being the best version of yourself at the end of the season when it matters most? Does that sound logical? Of course it doesn't. You need to lift heavy and or keep the intensity of your workouts consistent year round. You need to continue to keep your strength. You want to, if not get stronger, you want to bare minimum hold the line and not get weaker. You want to hold the line. You want to maintain what you worked for all year to get to that point, okay? So number 1 is lift heavy and or keep the intensity of the off season into the in season. Again, we will change the volume of your workouts, meaning they're not as long of workouts, you'll do less sets. It's going to be more strategic. It's going to be very protocol driven and measured extremely more than ever. But the intensity is still there because we don't want you to take any back steps. If you get weaker, the number 1 way that you are likely, number 1, there's many, many ways, but the number 1 way that you give yourself the best chance of injury is to get weaker. Simply, if your body's accustomed to a certain level of strength and conditioning, lessening that while still trying to perform the same way on the field, on the court, is the greatest chance. That margin in between is the greatest chance where injury could happen, okay? So that is all number 1. We want to keep the focus of the in-season the same as the off-season, at least in the minimum standards of holding the line. Off-season, you are more aggressive towards growing and building. In-season, you still need to hold and maintain, okay? Number 1. Number 2 is speed work and sprints. A faster athlete, and I've said this many times, and I'll say this until the day I die. A faster athlete is a better athlete. A faster athlete is a healthier athlete. Okay, so still keeping in line with what we just talked about in health in number one. Number two is a faster athlete is that you're a better athlete because you can get from point A to point B with less effort. You have better cognitive function. You have quicker reaction time. Your hand and eye coordination is going to be better. Every aspect of you as an athlete, you become more coordinated. Everything about you becomes better. The world around you of the sport gets slower when you get faster, when you get quicker. The problem with this is when people think speed work and sprinting, their definition of that and what they do is more often the problem than what is. Meaning speed work and sprints are really anything that are 5 to 6 seconds or less. So if you're running gassers of 100-yard dashes, I'm not saying that doesn't have its purpose because it does, but 100-yard dashes or 200-meter sprints, runs, that's not working on speed work. That's not focused on getting faster. You're working other mechanisms at that point. And I always say that, and I've said that before, but I'll continue to say that. If speed work is focusing on actually getting quicker, and that's focused on doing a series of sprints under 5 to 6 seconds, okay? 20-yard dashes, 30-yard dashes, 40-yard dashes, even 10-yard dashes if you're focusing on certain areas of that, like getting out of the gate in your first step, okay? So speed work and sprinting, a faster athlete is a better athlete. A faster athlete is a healthier athlete. So number one, to reiterate, we want to keep the off-season intensity into the in-season. Still lift heavy in-season. Whatever heavy means subjectively for the sport you play, the exercises that you do, okay? It's subjective. A football player and a tennis player and a golfer are not going to be on the same, and a baseball player, throw all that across the board, are not doing the same workouts, okay? But your intensity and lifting whatever is subjective to your sport, heavy, that is consistent year-round. Number two, you're doing speed work and sprints also year-round. If you don't use it, you will lose it. You will lose your speed quicker than any other facet of conditioning, more than if you took 2 weeks off from weightlifting, if you took 2-3 weeks off from just endurance running. You can pretty much maintain that within a couple weeks. You will lose speed immediately if you stop using it. If you do not use it, you will lose it. So not only will you lose that and you lose that threat, but you also want to continue to progress, right? A faster athlete is a better athlete. A faster athlete is a healthier athlete. You must train it year-round. 2 times a week, 20-minute sessions or less. It's very easy to fit in when your program design is properly done, okay? Number 3 is mobility work. Now, as a high school athlete, you are probably naturally pretty limber. You're not old enough to have enough issues and time under the bar, metaphorically speaking, to have a lot of mobility issues. Some do, but most don't. Use that to your advantage. Don't think of that as your way of getting out of something. Think of that as now's the time to double down on a natural strength. If you're mixing training on whatever you do, plyometrics, if you mix in speed work, if you mix in resistance training, which is lifting weights, if you mix in the skill work that you do within your given sport, you add all this up, mobility seamlessly makes all of that better. But it's the one thing, and it's not the one thing, there's many things, but it's a thing that is significantly neglected in a program designed for high school athletes, honestly all athletes, really at any level, but we're talking about high school athletes. That is an area that will actually enhance every facet of you as an athlete, what you do on and off the court, your skill-specific work that you do, the plyometric work you do, your speed work, and your weight training. All of that improves as you give consistent mobility, peppered in basically with everything that you're doing there. Mobility is number 3. Number 4 are feeder workouts and feeder exercises. I've said these things before. I will never not believe that they're not important. And I'm going to rehash them because you may not have seen certain videos. But feeder workouts are where you take a certain exercise or body part. This started in the bodybuilding world. It's kind of more dripped down into the sports world. For me, it's always been in the sports world because it was so obvious for me as a trainer early on. And that is, if you have a weakness, if you have a weak point within you as an athlete, within your training, whether it's on or off the court, in the weight room, whatever area it is that is your weakness, we need to put a little extra focus into that in addition to all the other things that you're doing to make yourself a better athlete. Okay? Maybe that is an exercise, maybe that's a given movement, maybe that's a given area within the performance of your actual sport. Whatever that is, a feeder workout is something where you do low volume, high frequency, meaning low volume, meaning you may do 50 to 100 reps total of a lightweight 4 to 5 times a week. Okay, let's just say 100 reps of, let's just do this. Let's just say that your shoulders and chest lack. I'm just going to pick something super easy. Okay, this is usually not the case for many athletes, but for something I'll give as an easy example is, let's just say that you really lack any type of push movement in the weight room. That's just a lag for you. Okay, I would have that athlete do 4 to 5 times a week, probably 5, Monday through Friday, before they go to bed, somewhere in the evening after their entire day is complete and they've already done their other workouts, they've been to practice, they've done their skill work, their nutrition's on point, they've done mobility work, everything is where it needs to be. I would have them do, if it's only 50 reps, they can do great. If it's 100, even better. But I would have them consistently do 50 reps of push-ups from a certain position based off of their lagging areas of their chest, shoulders, triceps every night. I might even have them do 50 push-ups and 50 bench dips, okay? Just to build their triceps and their supportive muscles, okay? So the point is, I want to give extra attention to something that's lacking in the weight room because it's holding them back on the field. It's holding them back on the court because they can't maximize it in the weight room, so it defeats the whole purpose, okay? But we don't have the ability or the time, nor does your body have the ability to do that with everything. You usually have things that you're strong at and weak at. We want to attack the weaknesses and give feeder workouts to that. If you have a multitude of areas and exercises that you're weak at, then we still don't do all of them at the same time. We're going to pick one area of priority and we will attack it and check that box until it gets to where it needs to be, a level of adequacy. And then we will take your next area of weakness and we'll start adding feeder workouts to that. We'll get it where it needs to be, send it down the assembly line, and then pick your next area of weakness. And we'll do this and repeat until every area across the board is where it needs to be. And let's be honest, at all times, you probably always have one area that's not up to speed with the rest of what you're doing, okay? So, feeder workouts. Number 5, and this is the final one, and this is, I call it the community 3. Every person on planet Earth, including myself, needs these 3 types of relationships in their life in order to be the best version of themselves. You need it to be the best athlete you can be, but you also need it to be the best human you can be, the best person you can be, the most optimal version of you in every title that you will have, professionally, relationally, socially, academically, and athletically, and spiritually, most above all. In order for you to be the best version of yourself, you need 3 types of people at all times. If you have 2 of the 3, it's not good enough. If you have 1 of the 3, which most people do, that's also a big problem. You need all 3, and you need to attack this like your head's on fire. Because until you have all 3 of these, and they'll change. These are not the same 3 people in perpetuity forever. And you'll hear why in a second, okay? You need someone at whatever you're trying to improve at and do good at, and honestly just have massive success with, whatever your focus is. So since we're talking about sports here, we're going to focus on sports, athleticism, athletics, strength and conditioning. You need someone who's ahead of you, who's done what you're trying to do, who knows how to navigate what you need to do, and who can bring you up. Someone that can hold you accountable, but honestly, they're your navigator. Someone that's ahead of you that's done what you're trying to do. You need someone ahead of you. Number 2 is you need someone relatable to you, someone that's about on your level trying to do the same things. You can hold each other accountable. Iron sharpens iron. It's a great proverb. It's someone that you can relate to. You make each other better, okay? And you force each other to keep the pace. And then number 3 is someone that you bring up. You learning how to be a leader to others. You learning how to coach and teach. We're all stewards. We're all leaders, whether you want to be or not. We all lead someone, okay? Whether it might be someone inside your house. It might be a friend. It could be a family member. It could be someone you're not even aware is in your world, but you're leading them. You're influencing them, okay? You need someone that you can directly bring up and improve yourself. So someone's bringing you up. That's number 1. The second person is someone relatable to you. You make each other better. Iron sharpens iron. And number 3 is someone that you bring up. I have done this with my coaching. I went from training athletes on a pure private one-on-one level. And as much as I could achieve with that, there was always one area that really stuck out to me of what they were missing. I couldn't identify what the solution was, but I could figure out what the area of problem was. The solution that I have discovered is that they needed to be in a community of like-minded athletes. Athletes that had a mixture, a mixed bag that were better than them, a mixed bag of athletes that were a little behind them, that they could also nurture themselves and learn leadership qualities. And they had athletes that they could directly relate to, that they could become friends with, but accountability friends. Like, I'm here to push you, you're here to push me. Let's make each other better. And within that community, that's when they became steps, leaps, and bounds closer to the athlete that they want to be. Somewhere in the link in the description, when I get done making this video, I will put a link to the community that describes what I'm discussing to you. It's an athlete where it's the group where I do train athletes one-on-one, but it's the community of those athletes as well. Okay? So within that group, it's called the Coach Up Team. I would love for you to be a part of it. I'll also try to add a link in there if you are just want to inquire about more questions, see if it's a good fit for you. I will add somewhere in that description that you can reach out to me personally, because at the end of the day, I want you to be the best version of you, however means necessary. Maybe that's with me. Maybe that's just watching videos. Maybe that's with someone else. You getting better is always going to be the ultimate mission, okay? So those are the 5 things. I hope you have that written down. Like and subscribe. Definitely please subscribe. I will have more and more impactful videos, more throughout the week, every week moving forward. We're getting the system of this down as I'm building the other things around it. I appreciate you as always. I wish you nothing but the best. I pray that you take what I just given you and apply it to your life, because I know it will help you. See you in the next video. Take care and God bless.